What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You guys join me for a very special video here today. So in front of me I have a 2025 BMW G90 M5, and I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to my friend Ben here at BMW of Towson. If you guys are interested in this car as well as the plenty of others they have for sale in the inventory here, I'll go ahead and link his Instagram and as well as the dealership website in the description box below. But in this video I just want to give a full tour and walk around of this gorgeous G90 M5. Obviously this is my first experience with one of these as they just came out, so I'm really excited to check this one out today. This car is finished in this beautiful shade of marina blue metallic exterior paint, and starting right up front on the styling of the G90, I think it is a huge departure in my opinion from the F90 before it. You can see the kind of huge kidney grills right there. I do believe that those are illuminated at night. You can see there's some sensors and everything right here for the adaptive cruise control as part of the driver assistance package. And underneath those grills, you can see there are two kind of huge openings right there for cooling. You can see a radiator behind that, and I do believe laying flat right here is part of the oil cooler. I would say that the styling on the G90 M5, especially compared to its predecessor, the F90, is a lot more angular. There's a lot more to take in. You can see these headlights are a lot thinner, and they kind of have these half strip of an LED daytime running light right there. Also, there are these triangular kind of cooling vents that channel air down the side of the car. You can see the hood also has a little bit of texture as well, kind of has like a double wave, if you will. Continuing along here, you can see on the front, these are the 20-inch M dual spoke wheels here. You can see the M red painted brake calipers behind them. Those are 6-piston calipers, and the rotors are 16 inches, I believe. You can also option in, obviously, the carbon ceramic brakes on this car as well. And as we continue along here, you can see the plug for the hybrid system. If you guys are unfamiliar, the G90 is a plug-in hybrid, so we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail here in a second. I've always liked these M-specific mirrors that BMW does with kind of the one connecting point on the bottom, and maybe to help channel a little bit of air down the side of the car here. You can see a thin LED turn signal in the mirror as well. And also I forgot to mention that this car is optioned with the carbon exterior package. So like I said, it gives you those carbon exterior mirrors. It also gives you a carbon fiber roof. And if we come along to the rear here, you can see it also gives you this carbon fiber rear lip spoiler as well. Continuing along here, I do like how the M5 logo is kind of imprinted on the C-pillar of the car here. I think that's a nice design touch. And this car actually has a staggered wheel setup, so this is actually a 21-inch wheel as compared to the 20-inch at the front. And as we continue along here, you can also see this rear diffuser has kind of a double opening look, if you want to call it that. You can see underneath it has these M signature quad exhaust pipes. You also have really thin LED taillights right here that look good. And like I said, as part of the carbon exterior package, you have the lip spoiler as well. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at the trunk capacity of the G90. Obviously a full power trunk. We'll go ahead and press the button like so. And as you can see, there's a decent amount of space in here. There's a little bit of kind of intrusion right here. I guess that's from maybe the wheel well or something to do with the battery system. But as you can see, it goes in pretty far. There's also these obviously handles right here to fold down the rear seats. There's a couple other items in here, obviously being a new car, the floor mats and the front license plate mount and everything like that. And once you're done back here, obviously it goes it like any other rear trunk. Taking a step inside the rear seat of the M5, we'll go ahead and open the door here. As you can see, this car has the sunshades on the rear windows. You go ahead and obviously pull them up like so. There's beautiful materials on the door as well. You can see stitching on the armrest, full aluminum door handle, beautiful speaker grille for the Bowers & Wilkins audio system. So sitting behind maybe a traditional passenger seat location here, there is quite a bit of legroom. You can see I have a few inches between me and the back of the seat here. And you can also see there is a USB-C charging port right there on the back. And you also have these climate control panel back here. There's this car has 3-level heated seats back here, which is very nice. Obviously the vents and such to direct the airflow, and you also have USB-C charging outlets on the rear console as well. Here's the key for the G90 M5. It is the newer BMW key, the BMW logo. Press it right there to lock the car. You can also press it 3 times in succession to remote start this car. On the side, you can see here's the unlock button, the trunk button, as well as the panic. It's finished in this nice piano black plastic, as well as the M3 color stripe. Taking a look at the rest of the interior of the G90 M5, we'll go ahead and open up the driver's door here. And one little Easter egg on this car that I just noticed is that there's a little M logo right here on the B pillar stamped in as well, which looks very good. There's a ton to cover on the interior of this car, which I'll try and capture the best I can here. This car is also optioned with the executive package, so it does give you the heated and ventilated driver and passenger seats here. It also gives you the heated rear seats like I showed you, as well as the illuminated front kidney grille. You can also see the beautiful speaker grills for the Bowers & Wilkins audio system. There's a ton of ambient lighting on this car that kind of runs around the entire interior, which I'll get into in a little bit. Let's go ahead and hop in the car, and before we do so, I do want to also mention that these seats with the M5 logo, I do believe that this is also illuminated, so that's a nice kind of design touch as well. But taking a step inside, you can see you're greeted by these two massive displays here. This is a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, as well as the 14.9-inch iDrive 8.5. So let's go ahead and start up the G90 M5. And I've been told by Ben that this car actually does not turn on the internal combustion engine unless the driver door is closed. So we'll go ahead and close it. Obviously, I rolled the window down so we can get some exhaust clips, but we'll go ahead and put the car in M1, as you can see here, to give us a more sporty exhaust note. And we'll go ahead and go down to the center console and press the start-stop button. So as you guys probably heard, this car just kind of whirs to life. It doesn't have a traditional starter motor noise because it uses the hybrid battery pack to actually start the internal combustion engine. But with that being said, let's go ahead and pop the hood on this car and talk about the amazing mechanical data on this car. The hood latch is actually hidden underneath the footwell there, and you double pull it like every other BMW to open. If we come around to the front, no hood latch, like I said, you just pull up. So under the hood of the G90 M5, this is what everyone has been talking about with this car. It still uses the same S68, which is the 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 as the F90. In this car, it makes 585 horsepower from the internal combustion engine alone, but there's also a 14.8 kilowatt-hour battery pack and electric motor on board to give you an extra 197 horsepower on top of that. So total combined system output is right around 717 horsepower, which is around a 100 horsepower jump compared to the old M5. You have 25 miles or so of pure electric range on this car. 0 to 60 is quoted as right around 3.5 seconds. Top speed is 190 plus. There's an 8-speed, obviously, automatic transmission. This car is full-time all-wheel drive, but you can also disable the front axle so you can actually drift this car around in 2-wheel drive mode if you wish as well. Let's go ahead and rev up the car here. I'll go ahead and actually put the car in M2 mode, which is the sportiest setting. We'll go ahead and press the M2 button one more time to confirm it. There's no soft limiter on this car. It'll let you rev it up all the way, which is great. So as you guys can hear, this car sounds really, really good. It doesn't have as many, burbles and stuff like that as the old car, but it still has the V8 rumble, and it shakes the whole car, which gives a really nice sense of a connection here. Taking a look at the rest of the interior of the M5, starting right here with the steering wheel is this beautiful 3-spoke flat bottom design. You can see these little cutouts in the aluminum underneath to give it a little bit of a sportier look, which I like a lot. There's also the M badge underneath as well. The paddle shifters for the 8-speed auto, if we go ahead and take a quick look behind, have this kind of rubber coating right here to rest your fingers on. And also the M1 and the M2 customizable driver select buttons. You can press M1 like so. It'll bring it up in the infotainment, and you can customize kind of which driving mode you'd like to have in each button. So you can have kind of a Sport Plus drivetrain in M1, or you could have Comfort in M2 and stuff like that. You also have the 12.3-inch fully customizable digital instrument cluster. You use it actually with this button on the right side of the steering wheel here. If you go ahead and click over into content, you can see you can scroll through the various menus that you'd like to have in the actual gauge cluster. Right there is the augmented reality, which is really, really cool. It has navigation directions and everything directly in front of you on the cluster. Obviously the full map. If you click it over into the right, this is where you customize the heads-up display layout. You can see your kind of driver assistance, speed limit, obviously compass and navigation data and everything like that. It is a little bit difficult to see. Directly across from the digital instrument cluster, you have the 14.9-inch iDrive 8.5 infotainment display here. This is a ton of customization available in this display. Unfortunately, it probably requires its own video to go through every single function, but as you can see, there is a permanent kind of layer underneath here to have the climate controls, as well as a couple other presets like the home menu and stuff like that. If you go ahead and click this little button to the right, you can see here are all the different apps available on this car with regards to the infotainment, the vehicle, and everything like that. There is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's also Amazon Alexa, as you can see, Spotify built in. So really just a ton of different customization available on this system. One other thing I'd like to show you on this dashboard and infotainment is the ambient lighting. As you can see, it stretches the entire length of the car here. You go ahead and customize it in the interior lighting on the applications here. Go into this setting, and as you can see, there's so many different colors you can choose from. I'll go ahead and check coral. Like you can see, it turned red. Obviously, you can adjust the brightness, the accent lighting, and also one other cool feature on this car, if you actually put on the hazards, it has a bit of an animation too. So that's a really interesting use of the ambient lighting, but I do like that a lot. Right here, you also have kind of a condensed version of some climate controls. You can see the hazard switch right here. But one other thing I'd like to show you guys is that the airflow kind of amount, you use these touch capacitive sliders to adjust that. It's the same for every vent on this car. You can see on the driver's side right here. It is pretty responsive, but they also give you this little selector or slider wheel underneath the dashboard to kind of direct the airflow as you wish as well. This is the selector for the 8-speed automatic transmission. It's just this little kind of toggle switch right here. Obviously, put your foot on the brake and pull it back, and it'll put you into drive. Pull it back one more time, it'll put you into sport mode, and obviously you can pull one of the paddle shifters to lock it into manual mode. If you want to put this car in reverse, you flick the kind of selector right there up in the reverse setting, and as you can see, full 360 camera on this car. The resolution is incredible. I also think it has the feature where it'll remember kind of a parking maneuver and direct itself into a parking spot and maybe a tight area and stuff, something like that. So that's really, really cool. If you want to put the car back into park, you obviously press the P button right there. You also have some controls for the iDrive right here. These are pretty traditional. If you've been in some other kind of newer BMWs, you can see the main control wheel as well as the various shortcut menus right there. You have a volume kind of wheel right here that you can use your thumb for. Obviously, this is to disable the parking sensors if you're kind of in a parking spot. You have a various different settings right here for traction control setup. You have M mode and M hybrid. One thing I do want to show you in M hybrid, right now we're in dynamic and obviously the car is running. If I go down and hit electric, I do believe the car will shut off. Yep, and as you can see, the gauge cluster turned blue, and we are on pure hybrid power or electric power right now. You can see there's around 10 miles of range in this car. I do believe if we were to drive it around, it would charge itself back up, back in the kind of hybrid or dynamic plus modes. You do have a bit of piano black plastic right here and kind of these high touch areas for the iDrive control and everything like that. So that's not really my favorite design decision. You can see it's already picking up a bit of fingerprints and dust and stuff like that. But nonetheless, you do have a full leather stitched center armrest here. You open it up and you have a little bit of storage in there as well. And because this car has the carbon fiber roof, there's no sunroof or anything on this car, but it does have an Alcantara headliner, which feels very, very nice. There's also these controls for the interior lighting. This is also an interior camera, I believe. But with that being said, let's go ahead and actually power off the M5 here. Like I said, there is the start-stop button in the center console. Well, guys, that basically concludes the quick look at the brand new 2025 BMW G90 M5. I just want to give a huge thank you again and shout out to BMW of Towson and my friend Ben for allowing me to film this car today. If you guys are interested, like I said, in any of the inventory or any new BMW on sale, he can definitely hook you up. I'll have all of their contact information in the description box below. But if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for a ton of cool content coming very soon. And I'll catch you in the next one.